JDE Update. Welkom allemaal bij weer een JDE Update Event voor dit jaar. Helaas kunnen we dit jaar niet op locatie het evenement houden. En we hebben ervoor gezorgd voor een virtueel evenement waardoor we het toch door kunnen laten gaan. Straks hebben wij als spreker Houtkooper, die vanuit Denver de roadmap voor JDE zal presenteren. Bij mij zit Hering Lichtart. Misschien wil jij jezelf even aankondigen.
Ja, dankjewel Wouter. Hering Lichtart, al een aantal jaren verbonden aan de Oburg. En inderdaad heel spijtig. Ik had eruit naar gekeken naar 2019, waarin we samen waren om dit jaar weer vandaag bij elkaar te zijn. Het mocht niet zo zijn. Maar ik ben blij met de gastvrijheid van Burg in de persoon van Wouter Helsloot. Zodat we hier op een leuke, schitterende locatie toch nog iets kunnen doen.
Mijn naam is Wouter Helsloot en ik ben applicatiebeheerder bij Burg Groep, een azijnbrouwer met het hoofdkantoor in Heerdegewaard. We zitten op dit moment in het laboratorium, het bezoekerscentrum. En het is vorige week geopend. En dit is waar wij onze gasten welkom heten.
Ja. Het ruikt nog nieuw.
Ja, het ruikt er ook naar azijn. Dus, welkom allemaal. Ik zie een hoop bekende namen. Leuk dat jullie er zijn. En we gaan eens even kijken wat we voor jullie in petto hebben voor vandaag.
Office update, dan doet hij het altijd even.
Ja, onze organisatie Oburg die heeft 3 doelen. Dat is het samenbrengen van mensen, het informeren van gebruikers en het ondersteunen van gebruikers. Dat zijn eigenlijk de 3 pijlers waarop onze organisatie stond. Dit doen wij door gedurende het begin van het jaar hebben wij dat gedaan door webinars te organiseren. Vorig jaar hebben we dat veel gedaan. Dit jaar hebben we dat eigenlijk alleen in het eerste halfjaar gedaan. Normaal gesproken dan doen wij niet zo heel veel webmeetings. Maar verzorgen wij een klantendag waarbij gebruikers bij een klant die JDE gebruikt te gast zijn. De laatste keer dat wij dat konden doen was in 2020. En we hopen echt wel dat het komend jaar weer kan gebeuren. Maar je ziet het, zo op het laatste moment kan er toch weer roet in het eten worden gegooid.
Ik kan uit eigen ervaring vertellen dat Ruel Smilde in Heerenveen gastheer was van een specifiek onderwerp. Dat ging eigenlijk over het algemeen. Hoe ga je met updates om? Hoe is je strategie en dat soort zaken. We zaten daar met een man of 14. En wat je merkt is dat ondanks dat het verschillende bedrijven allemaal zijn, is dat je een gezamenlijk onderwerp zo in zo'n groep prima kunt bespreken. En dan maakt het ook nog eens een keer des te leuk als je dan een rondleiding hebt in het betreffende bedrijf. En dan is het wellicht altijd wel de vraag van, stel je bedrijf zomaar open voor Jan en Alleman. Nou, dat is altijd aan de gastheer. Tot op heden hebben wij daar nog nooit een conflict gezien. Dan zie je dat iedereen welkom is.
Zorgt er ook voor dat eigenlijk ieder bezoek een succes is. Het bekijken van elkaars productieprocessen is echt hartstikke leuk om mee te maken. Klopt. Dan kom ik bij een evenement, het grote evenement wat we altijd in november organiseren. En daar zien we dan de foto's van 2019. Het is al even geleden dat we bij elkaar konden komen. En afgelopen vrijdag hadden wij nog het idee dat we het evenement konden gaan organiseren. Maar gedurende de week kwamen we erachter dat steeds meer mensen daar bedenkingen bij hadden. Waardoor het aantal deelnemers naar beneden schoot. En we eigenlijk om die reden gedacht hebben dat het beter is om het evenement te verplaatsen naar volgend jaar. Het zal ergens in maart, april of mei plaatsvinden.
daarbij aangetekend dat we hebben natuurlijk ook te maken met een locatie die, zoals je al ziet, destijds Fort Voordorp en dit jaar zou het Fort Sint-Gertrudis zijn in Geertruidenberg. Die is ook berekend op gewoon grotere groepen. Daar zitten ook kosten aan verbonden en gelukkig hebben we de partners van de Oburgs, Cadran, Forza, Steltix en Quistor samen met Oracle die dik vertegenwoordigd zijn en een hele rits subsponsors. Maar als je daar met elkaar als partners en consultants naar een x-aantal gebruikers zit te kijken, ja, dat is ook niet reëel. Dus we hebben inderdaad helaas last minute toch nog moeten besluiten om het te verplaatsen. Dat maakt het uiteindelijk voor vandaag misschien even wat zuurder, maar ik denk dat we straks in het voorjaar prima bij elkaar weer kunnen brengen en eigenlijk dan weer zo'n mooi evenement kunnen organiseren als toen.
Ja, als we kijken naar de organisatie van Oburg, dan hebben we een bestuur met eronder een aantal special interest groups, waar wij dan in de groep van JDE Updates vallen. Hering is een boardmember, neemt deel in het bestuur als afgevaardigde van JDE Updates. Ik ben de special interest group leader, een soort voorzitter van deze groep. En met mij zijn er nog een aantal enthousiastelingen die deelnemen in het organiseren van evenementen. En Philippe, die hier ook in de call zit, is daar één van. Daar zoeken we altijd meer mensen van die daar ook interesse in hebben. Dan heb ik een slide gemaakt om jullie uit te nodigen om iets te delen. Is er iemand die iets wil delen met ons?
Ja, ik wil hier al wel op inspringen. Ik ben er eigenlijk later bij gekomen op vraag van jullie. Ook als gebruiker eigenlijk. Ik zal me nog even heel kort voorstellen. Philippe Lettink, projectmanager bij Scherpenhuizen. Een van de grootste groenteboeren uit Nederland, om het zo te zeggen. Wij doen export, import van verse groenten en fruit over heel Europa. Ik zal ook even kort mijn presentatie, want ik heb ook een stukje voorbereid van wat wij met JDE Edwards doen. En ik zou ook even de rol even toch ook van waar jullie het net over hadden al willen aanstippen. En dat is dat we eigenlijk als community veel kunnen verwezenlijken. Momentje even. Want in het verleden hebben wij eigenlijk met de gebruikersgroep, en dan vooral onder impuls van jou, Wouter. Ik weet trouwens niet of mijn scherm zichtbaar is ondertussen.
We kunnen het zien.
Ja, dan denk ik altijd terug, een paar keer al teruggekomen aan de workorder ledger. Ik kan me nog mijn eerste SIG-bijeenkomst herinneren bij Boordmalt en daar was die oproep en ik denk bij het laatste live event, ja dan waren ze er in ieder geval. En zo wil ik eigenlijk ook het bruggetje naar de andere gebruikers doen. Vorig jaar hebben we ook een webinar gehost waarbij ook een aantal calls samen hebben gelogd. Eentje ervan kwam vanuit ons eigenlijk, maar er zijn wel een aantal mensen mee opgesprongen. Dat was dan de partijledger, om die uitgebreider te hebben eigenlijk in JDE Edwards. En de laatste keer toen we samen waren, toen ik met Hering de apps connected, de boodschap vanuit Amerika, en dat heb ik zelf ook ervaren toen met dat live event, is eigenlijk hoe meer mensen service requests, updates vragen, dan wordt er eigenlijk gereageerd vanuit Amerika. En ik denk één idee voor ons als gebruikersgroep is misschien jaarlijks een webinar op dit moment, of dat we ons daar ook even focussen van alle gebruikers. Welke service requests kunnen wij allemaal samen pushen? Ik denk dat dat een les is uit het verleden die we zeker moeten meenemen. Dat zie ik zo. Verder ja, ook al aangehaald, die bedrijfsbezoeken, die zijn toch wel leuk om te doen. Gewoon het rondlopen op de werkvloer en ook een thema van JDE Edwards bespreken. Ja, verder ook nog andere misschien evenementen. En dan zou ik eigenlijk ook weer zo het bruggetje naar de groep van, ja, wat verwachten zij zelf als gebruikers? Het is voor de gebruikers eigenlijk dat deze community er is. Dus eigenlijk hebben we de input ook van de andere gebruikers misschien is nodig, of hoe dat zij het anders zien, of nog extra toevoegingen hebben. Het leuke vind ik ook altijd met de partners samen om dit live event, wat we eigenlijk van plan waren. Als ik zie hoe al die partners, Steltix, Quistor, Forza, hoe dat ze allemaal op dezelfde manier er eigenlijk in staan. Dus ik zou nu zeggen aan de gebruikers, please share with us.
En dat kunnen jullie via de chat doen. En dan pikken we het daaruit uit op.
Dan gaan we die vragen nu of komen die straks of door onze moderator? Of ga ik even door?
Ga maar door, Philippe.
Oké. Ja, wij zijn binnen Scherpenhuizen, dus mij gevraagd, wat hebben jullie gerealiseerd eigenlijk? Binnen Scherpenhuizen zijn wij bezig met de upgrade naar de nieuwe JDE Edwards. Dus wij zitten nog op 897. Voor ons is er een hele speeltuin open gegaan. Bij onze huidige versie heel veel maatwerk. Wij gaan nu terug naar standaard. Maar we zien ook wel de nieuwe mogelijkheden. En ik heb er een paar uitgelicht. Wat jullie kunnen zien is eigenlijk een simpele webpagina die wij geïntegreerd hebben in een van de JDE Edwards pages. En dat is van een koppeling met een grote leverancier van ons. Dat wij rechtstreeks naar hun artikelbestand gaan via een orchestration. En zo ook de kostenstructuur dus kunnen raadplegen. Dat is toch iets leuk om in één systeem te hebben. Verder ook de mogelijkheden om dashboards te integreren. Momentje. Ik ga even terug naar een pagina die we ook aan het ontwikkelen zijn. En dat gaat ook een beetje over de structuur. Wij doen alles via tasks. Dus wij hebben ook altijd de gewone menustructuur. En dan hebben we ook de logotjes op de pagina, zoals jullie kunnen zien. En zoals jullie kunnen zien, doen we dus ook dashboardjes integreren. Wij kiezen ervoor, dat vinden we onder onze gebruikers, de AGF-business. De ouderwetse groenteboeren, die willen niet te veel klikken en het liefst in één programma werken. Dus als wij die dashboards mee kunnen integreren, ook voor gebruikers, is dat een mooie toevoeging voor hun. En dan verder hebben wij ook nog in ontwikkeling de pages en de watchlists en waarbij mensen ook makkelijker het proces kunnen volgen. Dus hier zijn we eigenlijk volop mee bezig om dit eigenlijk alles in één pakketje toch te krijgen binnen Scherpenhuizen. En,
Philippe, als ik je goed begrijp, dan heb je dus je huidige draaiend systeem met redelijk wat maatwerk. En jullie zijn bezig met een traject om dat over te zetten naar 9.2 en zoveel mogelijk standaard te houden.
Ja, klopt. En daarnaast proberen in JDE Edwards dus nu ook mee te integreren dashboards die we hebben. De ClickSense dashboards of BI tools. Proberen allemaal mee te integreren hierin.
Ja, gaaf.
Het is een leuke uitdaging. Alles staat terug ter discussie. Dus het is een langer traject dan we normaal gezien hebben, denk ik, een upgrade. Maar het is, onze versie is 20 jaar oud en toen met 4 bedrijven. En wij willen nu meer terug naar een standaard proces gaan om de groei verder te ondersteunen.
Filip, even een vraagje vanuit het publiek, in het geval van Ronald de Haas. Ronald geeft aan van, wij zijn gestart met de upgrade naar de laatste tools update, 9.2.6 als ik goed onthouden heb. Deze upgrade van 32 naar 64 bits is best wel een complexe en tijdrovende project. Is hier al ervaring mee? Misschien is het niet alleen voor jou of voor de hering, maar misschien voor de hele community. Is hier al ervaring mee? Dus de transitie van een migratie van een 32 naar een 64 bits omgeving. Hij geeft aan, wij dachten dat wij niet meer deze complexe aanpassing zouden hebben. Dus hij is in de veronderstelling dat de versie 9.2 dergelijke aanpassingen niet meer nodig zouden zijn. Hebben jullie daar ervaring mee?
Ik heb het meegemaakt bij ons in het bedrijf. Wij zijn gestart met een 9.2 upgrade ergens in maart volgens mij dit jaar. En gedurende zeg maar, de voorbereidingen kwamen we erachter dat er een upgrade nodig zou zijn van 32 naar 64 bit. En die hebben we op dat moment ook gedaan tijdens de voorbereidingen om van 9.1 naar 9.2 te komen. Eigenlijk heb ik dat niet zo complex ervaren. Meer in de zin van, ik heb het bij mijn partner gemeld en binnen enkele dagen was dat geregeld.
Waren jullie parallel aan het opbouwen?
Ja.
Ik weet tenminste dezelfde ervaring. Als je een parallel traject hebt, dan is het relatief makkelijker om dat te doen. Ik zeg niet dat het altijd eenvoudig is, want ik zie ook wel situaties waarbij je in een omgeving zit met 32 bit en ook oudere operation system levels en weet ik het allemaal. En dan moet je oppassen dat je niet in een soort domino effect komt. Want dan wordt ineens een eenvoudige tools release een complete upgrade en update van je hele machinepark. En dat kan wel een gevolg zijn. Ja. Dus ik begrijp heel goed de vraag van Ronald. Er is ook niet echt een eenduidig antwoord op. Het is heel goed in de gaten houden welke servers je allemaal bij moet werken. En welke slagen je daarin moet maken. Wellicht ook misschien een vraag en iets wat we kunnen aanstippen bij Paul straks.
Oké, dankjewel. Ronald, mocht je nog vragen hebben, dan stel ze rustig in de Q&A. Dan komen we erop terug.
Oké. Ja, ik heb even voorlopig ook niks meer. Dat is een beetje waar wij mee bezig zijn geweest. En dat te integreren. En ja, onze mensen, onze key users die meekijken, ook vanuit sales en zo, ja, die vinden het wel leuk dat alles geïntegreerd, of dat die mogelijkheden er zijn. Dus het maakt hen in ieder geval enthousiast.
Jouw opmerking over dat gebruikers in de groenteboerenwereld één scherm willen met alles erop, dat geldt niet alleen voor de groenteboeren, Filip. Dat wordt overal gevraagd.
Ja, nee, dat klopt. Dat is meestal zo. Dus,
als je wil, kan ik je nog een voorbeeld laten zien.
Laat maar even zien inderdaad.
Ja. Ik zal even.
Bij Burg afgelopen zomer hebben we een upgrade gedaan naar 9.2. Begin juli zijn we daar live mee gegaan. En eerder had ik al wat training gehad met de Orchestration Studio. En de Orchestration Studio die wij op het 9.1 systeem hadden, daar ervaren we wel mee dat dat niet zo heel stabiel was. Dat je een aantal keren moest uitloggen, inloggen, om het toch nog een keer te proberen. En dan was het probleem zomaar wel verholpen. En om die reden hebben wij die orchestrations op 9.1 nooit echt in gebruik genomen. En nu zijn we dan met 9.2 begonnen. Je ziet dan een hele grote bult met issues ontstaan, omdat je een nieuw systeem hebt, maar mensen nog steeds op dezelfde manier blijven werken. Inmiddels zijn we zover dat we de organisatie mee laten gaan met het product. Veel issues zijn opgelost en we krijgen nu wat tijd om met bijvoorbeeld orchestrations te experimenteren. Een van de experimenten die die we hebben gedaan is te kijken naar het versimpelen van de purchase orders. En onze purchase order pagina die ziet er op dit moment zo uit. Waarbij je eigenlijk een proces hebt van je maakt een purchase order aan, je print hem uit, je recordt de supplier confirmation en vervolgens ontvang je de goederen. En bij de brouwerij vinden de mensen het lastig om artikelnummers op te zoeken, leveranciersnummers op te zoeken, dat soort zaken. Dus zij vroegen, kun je niet een knop maken waar je op kunt drukken en dat je gewoon een inkooporder krijgt. Vervolgens heb ik dan een pagina gemaakt waarop dezelfde informatie ter beschikking is. En daar een aantal knoppen op gemaakt. Waarbij ze bijvoorbeeld een alcohol inkoop bij Sale Compa kunnen doen. Oh, sorry. Pak deze even. Nou, deze zaken zijn voor gedefinieerd. En vervolgens wordt er vanuit het order template de bestelgrootte gepakt en de besteleenheid. Het enige wat ze dan nog nodig hebben is dat ze moeten aangeven op welke dag de goederen binnen moeten komen. En wij bestellen hier met inkoopcontracten. Dat wil zeggen dat je een volume hebt afgesproken met je leverancier en op basis daarvan een prijs hebt afgesproken. Nou, als je dan een datum invult, dan heb ik er wat logica achter gestopt die dan controleert of er een agreement nummer actief is. En in 2023 is die niet meer actief, maar op 1 januari 2022 is dit contract wel actief. Dit is het aantal wat nog af te roepen is. En dit is de prijs die voor deze combinatie geldt. En het enige wat ze hoeven te doen is op Create Purchase Order te drukken. Nou, dan zul je een errortje zien omdat we in de testomgeving zijn. En deze bestelling kan nu niet naar de leverancier gemaild worden. Dat is waar de foutmelding over gaat. Maar er wordt zowel een purchase order aangemaakt, als dat die geprint wordt. En deze bestelling wordt in een mail gehangen, waar je de levertermijn voor 2022 hebt. De hoeveelheid, de prijs en het inkoopcontract. En dat wordt automatisch gemaild naar de leverancier. Dus in plaats van dat zij de eerste 2 stappen van het inkoopproces handmatig moeten doen, hebben ze nu met voorgedefinieerde velden een heel stukje efficiëntie behaald. En ik denk dat als je gaat kijken naar het opzoeken van het contract en het uitzoeken of de prijs aanwezig is, en dat je het zo over 25 stappen hebt die hier geautomatiseerd zijn in 1 knop.
Voor de duidelijkheid, Wouter, het eerste scherm wat je liet zien, dat is iets wat je als maatwerk hebt.
Ja.
Maar door het drukken op de knop wordt de hele afhandeling erachteraan in de registraties afgehandeld. En maak je eigen gebruik van de standaarden die je al hebt in je proces.
Ja.
En automatiseer je de boel.
Klopt.
Nou.
Het is heel mooi. Wij zijn er ook al volop mee bezig. We hebben in het verleden ook al eens zitten testen met die orchestration en daar liep die inderdaad ook heel veel vast. Maar nu met het hele nieuwe uittekenen, de mogelijkheden, je ziet wel dat de ontwikkelingen echt wel doorgaan. En inderdaad het ook makkelijk gaat maken voor gebruikers. Dus wij zitten er ook volop op in. En af en toe is het nog een beetje, het loopt even vast, maar dat is meer van het fine-tunen van je programma eigenlijk. Dus ja, het is echt wel leuk om te doen. En dat zie je ook terug bij de gebruikers als ze erbij betrokken worden, dat het voor hun toch iets eenvoudiger wordt. En het is eigenlijk standaard, hè, om het zo te zeggen.
Ja, precies. Wat laat je ons nu zien, Wouter?
Het voorbeeldje wat ik hier heb is een artikelbestand. En wij hebben een hele aantal producten met labels. En die labels die kunnen in de loop der tijd een beetje gewijzigd worden omdat je een actie hebt op een product of het recept verandert. En iedere aanpassing in het label krijgt een eigen artikelnummer in de item range. Ik heb nu eventjes een label opgezocht. Dat eindigt op 00 en vervolgens ook nog een keertje op 01. Dat wil zeggen 00 is het eerste label geweest en 01 is het volgende label. Als ik daar nou op de knop Create Next Number druk, dan wordt er op de achtergrond 32 stappen uitgevoerd, die nu in 1 seconde uitgevoerd worden, waardoor je heel snel je labeltjes kunt creëren. Maar ook zeg maar de cans waar we limonade in stoppen bijvoorbeeld, dat zijn ook dat soort producten. Kartonnen dozen met een etikettering hetzelfde. Nou, als ik dit dan voor de labels doe van het merk Margarita, dan zie je dat we hier een spirit hebben. We hebben hier even kijken, deze en deze. Drukken 3 aan. We hebben er 10 in deze query zitten. Druk op Create Next Number. En in één actie heb ik 3 labels gemaakt. Dus wanneer wij voor Albert Heijn een eigen merkproduct hebben, waarbij zowel de sinaasappel als de aardbei als de cassis verandert, je drukt ze allemaal aan in je query en je hebt eigenlijk heel snel 150 acties uitgevoerd.
Ja. Dus als ik het nu goed zie, dan dit is een stukje master data. Net had je een voorbeeld van inkoop. Beide geldt eigenlijk voor heel veel bedrijven die met AdWords werken. En je kan eigenlijk dit soort topics gewoon als een zichtbijeenkomst gewoon met elkaar bespreken van hoe doe je dit en hoe vlieg je dit aan. Want dit is de kracht die je op dit moment hebt met de nieuwste tools. Ja, dat is prachtig. Als ik even kijk naar de tijd, dan denk ik dat je het met mij eens bent dat we dit een hele middag kunnen vullen.
Klopt. Om dit nog te duiden, zeg maar, dit stukje met Create Next Number. Ik heb eigenlijk 1 dag les gehad. Zeg maar privéles, zeg maar 1-op-1 les.
Ja.
En dit stukje heb ik zelf gebouwd in 1,5 uur.
Ja.
En mijn collega die maakt 1000 labels op een jaar.
Ja. Dus het is een relatief kleine investering voor het resultaat wat je in je bedrijf hebt.
Ja.
Ja. Nou, prachtig.
Dus wat dat betreft denk ik dat ik het gras alvast weggemaaid heb voor Paul Houtkooper.
Ja. Wil je de laatste slide nog even?
Ja.
Want voordat we inderdaad naar Paul gaan. Je ziet wat de kracht is van ook een usergroep. Wat we ook bij Royal Smilde vorig jaar hebben gedaan. Dit soort onderwerpen, als een bedrijf zegt, ik wil graag het een en ander bespreken. En ik wil weten hoe anderen, bijvoorbeeld Wouter bij Burg of Philippe bij Scherpenhuizen, maak het kenbaar. De Oburg is het platform om de mensen op te trommelen en aan te geven dat er een middag georganiseerd wordt met een bepaald onderwerp. En dan kun je dit soort dingen laten zien en bespreken. En om iedereen nog even te triggeren, het was misschien op de achtergrond al een beetje duidelijk. Oracle is natuurlijk, die zie je overal, sponsor van onder andere Formule 1. Onze Red Bull, wat natuurlijk lekker aanvliegt, ook met de successen die Max behaalt. Paul McCartan heeft het al genoemd tijdens Apps Connected Juni. Wouter weet het inmiddels ook van, dit zijn dingen waar Oracle heel snel naamsbekendheid aan geeft. We hebben hier wat gadgets liggen. En ik kan aangeven dat zodra we Paul zijn roadmap hebben gehad, dat we voor degenen die dan nog aanwezig zijn, in ieder geval even wat verloten. Dus ik nodig iedereen uit om vooral te blijven aan te haken na 5 uur. Dan sluiten we nog even af. And then at this moment, I would like to give the podium to Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you, Paul.
All right. Good. You guys can hear me. That's good. All right. Let me.
Unfortunately, again, digitally, Paul, like you mentioned before.
Yep. Yeah, I would have loved to have been there to speak to everybody in person. I look back a few years ago when you guys gave me the opportunity to do it in person with Lyle. And yeah, I still look fondly back on those memories and my opportunity to go see my homeland. So I wish I could have done it this time around. Hopefully we'll have that opportunity maybe next year. Yeah, as things calm down. We got close. We definitely got very close this time, but but instead we have to do it virtual. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you guys for giving me this opportunity. Wouter, it's a little early in the States to be talking about margaritas and brewing. So that was a little difficult for me. I mean, maybe a Bloody Mary, but anyway. So thank you again. I couldn't resist. So let me go ahead and share my screen. You guys see this okay?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
For the record, Paul, if anybody has questions, they can use the Q&A, of course.
Of course.
At certain points, when you have time or whatever, just give a signal, and then Jean-Francois will pick that one up.
Okay, sounds good. Well, obviously, I'm Paul Houtkooper. I'm running JDE Edwards Product Development. I'm here to give you an update. I want to start off, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to start off with a quick video to kind of showcase what we just brought to market. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys.
Wrong button, Paul.
Sure. Oh, okay. Actually, my entire presentation just crashed. So 1 second.
But it happens to you also sometimes.
Yeah, what the heck was that? All right, let's try this.
At least we know we have you live.
Yeah.
Right. Apparently, since I wasn't going to do a live product demo, if I was doing a live product demo, it would have happened then. But and this is not. Oh man. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to. 1 second. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. If you try to manage, then I'll just keep talking. You mentioned Lyle before. Yeah, he retired earlier, a couple of months ago, I believe. And
Yeah.
although in our last meeting, that's then 2 years ago, he already mentioned something like that. He avoided the word retirement, but yeah, we were planning some things on the spot, of course, to give him a big thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, he has to wait for a couple of months. So just getting
that was
now to say a big thank you to Lyle, of course, also from the community from here.
Yeah, he is enjoying his time with his grandchildren. He is working on his golf game, and to be fair, his golf game needs a lot of work. So, and he's enjoying his other hobbies, which include obviously music. I believe everybody's aware that he enjoys music. So, all right, let me see if I can get this. We were roughly right here. See, hopefully this doesn't crash on me again. Apologies, guys. Share. Sounds good. Go. Oh, wow. It is not going to work. That's okay. We're going to skip the video then. Yeah, it crashed again. Wow. So I don't care how many dry runs you go through. This is proof that they're never enough.
There's always a minor thing at the end that can cause an issue.
That's true. I had problems this morning with the internet. So
Well, we'll just make sure, Paul, that we mention the link to the video. I've seen you post last week already, so we'll make sure that people can see the whole video.
Yeah, it's available obviously on OTube or YouTube. So I'm going to skip the video. I just removed it from the presentation, thinking that maybe it's the size. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, in case anybody missed it, last month in early October, I think it was October 11th, 12th, we released 22. So hopefully you guys saw that, have had a chance to check it out. It's all about, rebranding and our digital ERP release that allows obviously you to automate, optimize, transform. You know that our focus over the years has been on, helping you automate your business processes, eliminating, any sort of redundant tasks or whatnot, kind of minimizing the human element where possible. From an optimization standpoint, it's all about, enhancing your ability to respond, which obviously has been very, very significant in the last couple of years as we've been dealing with COVID, and many customers have been dealing with supply chain issues and disruptions. Your ability to obviously, respond quickly in those situations is key. And then it's also about transformation as we allow you to, our digital platform allows you to essentially connect with the new technologies, leverage them to the best of your ability to rethink and reimagine how you guys are doing business. So that's, that's release 22. Some people obviously ask, well, wait a second, release 22, what do you mean? Why did you do this? What exactly is this? We wanted to adopt a new naming methodology, a little bit more, I would say, modern, if you will. So we're going to the annual model. So 22 being, the year that this is good for. A little bit like the automobile industry as far as, you get the next year's release, the year before. So that's what we're going to. Hopefully that's intuitive for everybody and easy to understand. It's probably more in line with, the way, other products are releasing, hence, us getting in line. The other reason that we wanted to do it was to make sure that it was representative of what we're doing. We receive a lot of questions, right? When you look at 9.2.x.x, it sort of implies maintenance. It implies that, we're maybe not innovating as much as we truly are. And those of you that stay close to us, that keep up to date and pay attention to what we're putting out and are more familiar, you know that that's not true. I mean, we're innovating, you know, every single quarter and every single year as we put out our quarterly releases and annual updates. So we wanted something that was a little bit more representative of what we're bringing to market. So that's why we changed the naming convention. Obviously, it's available now. I think the other thing that it does give you is if you get to release 22, that 22 gives you an indication of how current you are. So, you know, 3 years from now, when we have released 25 and you're still on 22, you know you're pretty far behind, versus when we're on 9.2.5. Last time I checked, 9.2 is the latest release. 9.2.5 is actually 5 years out of date. Or what 9.2.5 obviously would be fairly current, 1 year out of date. But if you're on 9.2. You know, say 2, you're 3, 4, 5 years back, right? So since 9.2 came out 6 years ago. So hopefully this helps. All right, we're pretty excited about it. If you want to learn more, I strongly suggest you go out to learn JDE. You know, we've got the announcement out there. You can drill into, you know, all the details on each one of the enhancements, you know, the key enhancements that we put in this release, and drill into the product catalog to go ahead and get additional information. We've made a concerted effort this time around in preparation for release 22 to increase the amount of collateral that we bring to market with the product. So there's, you know, what you would call whole product deliverables. So there's a lot of tutorials out there. There's a lot of quick tours out there to help you understand, you know, what each one of these enhancements are, what value they actually bring and serve, and then obviously how to implement them. So again, we're trying to improve on, you know, making you more aware of what we're bringing to market, making you more aware of how impactful what we're bringing to market could be, but also making you aware of how easy it is to adopt what we're bringing to market. So please, you know, learn JDE and leverage the product catalog. Wanted to take a few minutes, several minutes actually, to kind of walk through, you know, some of the key enhancements that we brought to market last month. Maybe some of you have already, you know, gotten onto, you know, release 22 and started to poke around and you know, adopt some of these things. But if not, here's, you know, kind of an overview, if you will. I'm not going to talk through every individual one. I don't want to keep you here all day. But I will highlight a few. Within application optimization, you know, it's been about protecting your business, improving your business, and future-proofing. That's been our strategy around apps now for several years. So protecting, you know, we still released localizations for 9 different countries this year. It included things like real-time invoicing for Hungary, as well as single-touch payroll for Australia. We also delivered bank account matching to give you the flexibility to control who can view what. You know, those are some of the simple things that we've delivered in that area. Within improve your business, this is where, you know, hopefully, you know, you guys recognize, you know, over the last few years, especially with the input from Wouter, you know, we've been hyper focused on, you know, customer driven product improvements and trying to figure out how we can improve our own business processes, how we can improve our own interfaces that you all use on a daily basis to try and make you more efficient and better at what you do using JD Edwards. So it includes things like simplified work center rates. On the surface, you know, that doesn't sound like, you know, the biggest thing to bring to market, but it definitely enhances user productivity on something that used to take many hours a week, maybe 40 hours a month. Now it takes a matter of minutes. And so it does have, you know, those sorts of enhancements do have a significant impact. We're also focused on, you know, identifying those things where folks might be doing minor enhancements, you know, minor customizations, if you will. So if you look at global location number on your advanced shipping notice, this is a common customization that many customers have done. So we went ahead and implemented that, and that obviously, mitigates the need for people to make those modifications. Moving.
Oh, one question. I have a question from one of the people in the question also. It's more general question, I guess. The question is, what is the main incentive for new companies to buy JDE Edwards? So it's not really related to this version, but more in general.
The main incentive for companies to buy JDE Edwards, for new companies to buy JDE Edwards, right? The main thing for us, I mean, we are, we've got a great history as far as, industry specific solutions. We've got, so a lot of customers are focused, where they have differentiated capabilities or differentiated industry specific capabilities, are focusing on JDE Edwards, where, you're going to hear cloud, 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 cloud. And the reality is JDE Edwards plays very well in spaces that currently, Oracle Cloud products do not, right? So, if you're doing standard financials and that's what you're interested in, then perhaps cloud is a very good option for you. But, if you're doing manufacturing and distribution, if you're in real estate or home builder, or, you're in food and beverage, there are many different industries. Agribusiness is another one, where at the end of the day, we have capabilities and 20 plus years worth of, maturity and stability with these capabilities that currently aren't available in other products that Oracle brings. So, I mean, that's the way that's how we're differentiating ourselves. That's what we're, taking advantage of and championing. The other thing is choice and control. I think maybe that to me, that's the biggest thing, is that with JDE Edwards, with its digital platform and with its flexibility, you get choice and control over what platform you use, what database you use. You get choice and control over what interfaces you use, right? So with your on-premise solution with JDE Edwards, or if you want to put JDE Edwards up in Oracle Cloud, you still have control over when you take updates, how you take those updates. You can change your interface, you can extend our capabilities, and I'll get a little bit more into that. And so we have the ability with our digital platform and orchestrator to actually do quite a bit that aren't, I mean, we just have capabilities that just aren't there in other ERP solutions that are in the market. So that to me is even a bigger reason that companies are currently choosing JDE Edwards.
Okay, well, thanks for this explanation. I think it's very useful for the whole community. Thanks. Yep,
absolutely. So as far as future proofing is concerned, the point here, we're focused. Oh, was there a question? Sorry.
No more questions at this moment.
Okay, cool. In the area of future proofing, we focused on volume level pricing and procurement. So this is about, bringing some of your procurement advanced pricing capabilities on par with what you see in, let's say, sales order entries. So you can do order level, basket level, as well as now volume level pricing and procurement. We also just put out a new requirements planning summary console. This is kind of I would call it an all-in-one planning interface, right? Interactive planning interface for critical components. And this is about, to our point about optimization, this is about allowing you to respond quickly. So if you've got critical components to your ability to deliver product, you want to be hyper-focused on fluctuations in their availability. This requirement summary console enables you to get alerts and to really drill in. It's basically an interactive MRP for your critical components. So we think it will play a pretty significant role going forward. We've also invested quite heavily in more intuitive interfaces. So we've leveraged a new technology to bring some new visualizations to market, whether it's a where used or staff utilization or whatnot, but using a new technology to kind of enhance not only the user experience, but we also want to eliminate a typical obstacle, which is previously you may have had to maintain a separate servers for some of these visualizations, and that inhibited people from adopting them. And then of course there may have been licensing if you wanted to tailor them to your needs, and you no longer have to worry about that. We've leveraged the new technology. There's no additional server requirements. There's no additional licensing. These are available to you straight out of the box. And this is another area where we plan to invest heavily going forward and bringing more of these to market. From a digital platform standpoint, I touched on this in my response to the, to the recent question. But to go into what we've done specifically within Release 22, we're heavily focused on continuing to enhance your ability to do process automation. We want to remove the need for customizations, and we want to improve your overall experience. So within automation, the one thing I'll highlight here would be the Workflow Studio. So, for years past, in order to maintain your workflows or model out new workflows, you would have needed, this was another reason that you needed a fat client. We're continuing to reduce the dependency on having to have a separate fat client. So this Workflow Studio is something that allows you to maintain your workflows on the glass. And this is just our initial release of this. So, right now, you can maintain and whatnot, but we think that this opens the door to enhancing workflow in general and allowing it to play a more significant role in how you automate your business processes. In the area of removing customizations, I would highlight one that's near and dear to my heart. Having grown up as a developer, so to speak, for JD Edwards, I remember sitting with Daryl Shakespeare, having having a Guinness and brainstorming on ideas, and I asked him why I cannot manipulate my UI on the glass and why I cannot do simple logic extensions on the glass. Why do I need to know any syntax? Why do I need to know any proprietary logic or or nomenclature, so to speak? Why can I not just do simple logic on the glass and simple form personalization on the glass? And lo and behold, over the last 3 years, we've made significant improvement in your ability to personalize and your ability to extend. And with this new release, now we finally get logic extensions on the glass, so that it's all about drag drop, point and click. There's no syntax involved. It's simple process flow, and you can do table IO and normal logic looping and conditioning and what you need and whatnot. And you can do it all and implement it all without a package build. Again, we always get dinged, hey, you're on premise. In order to deploy anything, you've got to do these builds, and then there's disruption to the business. Well, now you can even do your extensions logically without having to actually disrupt the business and immediately see the results, which is very, very powerful. Obviously, you would do this in a test environment before you release them into your production environment, but the point being that it's much more seamless, and we're empowering a much larger user base to be able to take advantage and leverage these to do your typical extensions to tailor JD Edwards to your business need. Okay. Finally, within improving your user experience, it may not seem like much. I remember, when I first saw this, it was pretty funny because it seemed like such a simple thing, the launch orchestrations from any one page. But it's amazing how when you change the context of a feature of functionality, how it changes your, I would say, your perception, and it opens up additional opportunities. With launching orchestrations from any one page, you can start to see where you would leverage Orchestrator to record smaller, maybe, daily tasks that you go through that are pretty straightforward, but you don't want to necessarily, you don't need to launch the application anymore. Why not just let me put this on any one page of common tasks that I have and let the system automate it. And I give you the 2 or 3 pieces of information the system needs to basically run through and take care of, you know, traversing whatever the applications were in order to accomplish the task. You know, we were able to do this within the context of an application before, but the reality was we didn't necessarily need the context of the application to run some of these orchestrations. Why not just allow them to be launched on a page? It may change how you leverage Orchestrator to automate your business going forward, I think. So that's the one that I would highlight there. Finally, within system administration, it's all about obviously lowering your total cost of ownership. Within whether or not it's proactive, it's simplifying the day-to-day, or it's just system availability. You know, we continue to find different ways for the system to help manage not only the business, but also the system to help manage the system. And in this particular case, I would highlight offline server manager. So we've enhanced server manager console with the help of Orchestrator to now be able to actually manage a JD Edwards instance when it's offline, when it's actually down. You can now use Orchestrator and Server Manager console to actually manage that instance and bring it back up, which is pretty powerful. Within the day-to-day, one of our number one SIG request, tech SIG request, was around tracking user activity. You can imagine in today's day and age, with security being probably number one on any CIO's, you know, list of worries, then you know, being able to actually, you know, have the ability to audit who's accessing your system, when they're accessing it, what machine or device they're accessing it from. We've provided a nice UX1 dashboard here for you to be able to actually analyze and slice and dice the information and drill in to better understand it. Awesome. We also have to have, of course, the dog Zoom bomb. Everybody needs that, right? So sorry about that.
You're sure it's not electronic, Paul, with a button?
We're going to experience everything today, it looks like. But
It's making us curious. Go ahead.
yeah. So as far as system availability, I'll highlight here the zero downtime deployment. Business continuity is key, and it's one of those things that, especially in the world of you know, cloud and whatnot, many times an on-premise solution like JD Edwards can get dinged for the fact that it needs those package deploys or package builds and deploys, and you have to, you know, maybe take people offline for, you know, a period of time in order to deploy you know, the latest update in order to deploy release 22. Well, with zero downtime deployment for apps, we've now gotten past that, and you know, we enable, you know, basically full business continuity for those companies running 24/7 that cannot afford, you know, the disruption. So the other one I'd highlight here is Oracle Autonomous Database. Again, we're Oracle, so I've got to you know, talk a little bit about Oracle. Wouter, I'll get to you 1 second. I see you raise your hand. All right. With Autonomous Database, I just want to point out that, you know, we did recently certify dedicated, and now with release 22, we're now certified on shared. So those customers that are on OCI or interested in OCI, this becomes an option for you. And with the shared model, the price point's quite a bit different than the dedicated, so it might resonate a little bit better than the dedicated option did. So Wouter, your question.
It says zero downtime deployment for application. Does it mean interactive applications and batch applications?
Oh, good question on the batch side of the house. Man, you always take it a level deeper. Let me find out. Let me find out. I want to say yes, but I also don't want to misrepresent. Let me talk to Clayton. I haven't had that question before. So good question, and I will get you an answer, sir.
So the real question is, when will we be able to do a package deployment for all the objects without zero downtime? because then you can be 24/7 available. That's the big question for the next year.
Yes. Let me talk to Clayton and get more details on exactly, how this, if there's any difference between apps and batch, and to your larger question, longer term question.
Yeah, from my point of view, I first need to look into the projects if there are only applications in there. And if there are, then I can do it right away. Otherwise, I need to wait.
Correct. Yep, I understand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thanks for the question. I appreciate it. Let's talk a little bit cumulative value. Release 22 obviously just came out. This is 9.2. It's been in the market now as our continuous development release for roughly 6 years. So in that time period, we've obviously invested heavily, and it's reflected in the number of features that are available at this point in time. We're now eclipsing over 750 new features since 9.2 hit the market. And our adoption rate is still fairly high on 9.2, with over 3/4 of our install base on at least the 9.2 platform. Now, the interesting thing is whether or not people are actually leveraging, some of the innovation we put out. That's a completely different question, and that's a challenge that we always have. Is there's one thing to continuously stay up to date. It's another thing to continuously adopt, and that's so getting to 9.2.6 isn't the end, right? And let's say getting to the latest tools release or whatnot, or getting to update, the latest update isn't the end. It doesn't end there. You want to look at the investments that we've made, and you want to make a plan not only to do the upgrade or the update, but you also want to do the adoption component as well. So please don't miss that. With 9.2 being our continuous innovation release, we've now again this year extended Premier support, with release 22 out to 2032. As you guys, that have been with us for a while know, I mean, this is a rolling commitment from Oracle on the Apps Unlimited line. So we will continue to release, year after year, and you'll continue to see this roll forward year after year. It's a rolling 10-year commitment. So, for those of you that are concerned about, JD Edwards having an end date, there is no end date. And for those of you concerned about, long-term commitment viability, we're on a continuous code line we plan on releasing year after year and simply extending this date. That's our commitment. It's documented by Oracle, and we're excited to continue to keep innovating the way we've been innovating. I put a couple things on here around, cloud. Obviously, cloud does provide quite a few advantages, and Oracle's investing there as well. We do see many customers taking advantage of, other Oracle products such as EPM and CPQ to surround JD Edwards with. They also have, gotten out of the data center business and migrated their JD Edwards instances to, OCI to take advantage of the infrastructure that's provided. Many have seen some significant, performance gains as well as just, the reduction in costs. So it's a great option if that's of interest to you and you want to exit the data center business. And then finally, near and dear to everybody's heart, I'd say, Orchestrator continues to gain traction, much traction. The more I'd say over the last couple of years, people have really started to realize the power and started to take advantage of this. I mean, you guys saw demos today, reflecting, some of the things people are, now able to do. And we continue to invest in this area. And this will still play an integral role in our vision going forward that I'll touch on in a little bit. I wanted to chat a little bit about the cumulative value within JD Edwards. and within release 22 and what it represents. You know, because we've been on a continuous code line now for 6 years, we've been releasing quarterly, you know, throughout that time. And what that means is you get a lot of things incrementally, and you get a lot of smaller, you know, more bite-sized pieces. And sometimes it's a little harder to understand how it all fits together. It's the whole forest through the trees analogy. You know, so we wanted to help understand that, you know, how everything we've been putting out really isn't been haphazard, or, you know, that there isn't any thought process behind what we're doing. We're just randomly shipping, you know, new things. That's not the case. You know, and many times we're focused around a specific business process, a specific, you know, area of the business or key capability within the business. And, you know, trying to find those things that will help, you know, in this case, you know, for example, streamline your requirements planning process. Okay. And so throughout the last 6 years, we've released quite a bit in this particular area. This serves as a really good example. When you put it in this context, you can start to really see, you know, what we've been doing. So you look at requirements planning, it goes from the definition to the actual planning to the plan generation and whatnot. That ends up being kind of the life cycle. And if you look at the beginning of that life cycle, you've got things like our new visualizations that we brought up, where, you know, we recognize that not all data within JDE Edwards needs to be rendered within a grid, right? Sometimes within a flow diagram or a hierarchy, a calendar, a Gantt. There's a lot of different ways to visualize our data that is more intuitive, that makes you more efficient. In the case of capacity planning, you know, these three that we have listed here, you know, kind of complement one another, from automatic attachment of parts and routings during work order creation, which takes obviously a step out of the process. But what it also does is it immediately means that your capacity can be reflected in something like Work Center Load Review, which is a new calendar and Gantt scheduling capability that allows you to now balance your resources and address any, you know, any shortages that you may have. And then on top of it, you know, near and dear, I heard it mentioned earlier. Thank you, Wouter, for championing it for so many years. We have things like work order activity rules and work order ledger. Within the activity rules, we can now automatically freeze orders, and you know, so that, you know, you create some of that nervousness that you can that gets created within MRP. You can actually mitigate some of that, dampen that down by automatically freezing. Once you get to the end of this process, you also, and when you're looking at plan generation, we have a lot of customers, you know, that obviously, you know, are lot driven, right? And there's a lot of different dates around lots that you may want to leverage in your planning cycle. We've expanded MRP's capability to give you the flexibility to decide what dates you want to leverage when doing your planning. And then finally, I already mentioned the planning console, and, you know, us bringing that kind of an all-in-one, whether it be time series, supply, demand, pegging, you know, rather than having to traverse all of these different applications in order to effectively manage a critical component, we've created, you know, a console that lets you do that kind of all in one. So hopefully that gives you a pretty good picture of what we mean by cumulative value. Obviously, we didn't, you know, wait 5 years to deliver this all at once in this massive, you know, say update. But instead, we've been incrementally getting there throughout the years and helping you obviously improve this entire process. The next one would be realizing supplier discounts and what we've done there. I mentioned it earlier as far as, you know, looking at advanced pricing and what capabilities you have within sales, making sure you have similar capabilities within procurement, but also just looking throughout the entire life cycle, from maintaining the catalog and capturing the incentives to then obviously generating the purchase order and whatnot, and also reviewing your history. So we look throughout the process, and you know, we've highlighted some of the things we've done to you know, make this overall, you know, a better option for you, so that you can realize those discounts and that cost savings. So again, I don't want to go into, you know, nth level of detail on each one of these, but, you know, me and my product management team are, you know, actively going out right now and creating these cumulative value stories to help put things in a better context for you, so you can understand the value that we're actually bringing to market, and it all, as I said, as it all fits together. You know, you can imagine, you know, in an area like our orchestrator and what we've done around automating business processes, you know that we've released quite a bit, right, on a very frequent basis, even in, you know, our web packs and stuff like that. So we're even releasing probably more often than quarterly here, you know, and the number of enhancements that we put out is a bit overwhelming. So I think putting it in the context of the overall process of what it takes to create, deploy, launch, and interact and monitor, you know, helps you understand, you know, what we're doing and what it really means. You know, with release 22, this is all, you know, we found another place where you can launch them from, right, when we put orchestrator on a orchestrations on any one page. So again, just ways in which you can understand, you know, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're doing it. And you'll see each one of these contain the QR code in the upper right-hand corner. You can scan that. That'll take you out to Learn JDE and the product catalog, so you can understand, you know, what this story is and how to get access to the various enhancements that we've released associated with these processes. User experience, same thing when it comes to optimizing productivity. This area of extensibility and removing customizations has been a huge investment for us over the years. So you can imagine, this adds a lot of value when we put it in this context, so to speak. So from navigation, like all the different areas in which you would do a customization, you customize your navigation, your user interface, your data, your business rules, and then of course you have to manage and deploy those customizations. We've looked, throughout that cycle to try and figure out where we can, improve things or eliminate your need to actually do the customizations or transform your need, so that you're doing an extensibility or a personalization rather than actually manipulating specs, which gets in the way of you doing your upgrades, right? And obviously I've already, highlighted logic extensions as a part of what we brought to market this time around. So again, putting this in context so that you better understand the evolution here of what we've been doing. The question that always seems to come up is, with all that change that we've been putting in and, the 6 years that 9.2 has been in market, doesn't that make it impossible, for people to stay current, right? And the reality is that with release 22, again, and zero downtime deployment and those sorts of enhancements, we've made it, we continue to invest and try to make it easier for you to stay current with us. Many people hit us up and say, why don't you come out with a 9.3, or why don't you come out with a 10.0? That would really help us. And the funny thing is if we were to do that, then you'd be back in upgrade land, right? With 9.2 and us staying on 9.2, we can continue to deliver this stuff incrementally, which means the delta that you're dealing with ends up being smaller, and it's easier to, essentially effectively keep current. Whereas if we do release a new code line, you're back to upgrade land, which, again, it can be painful, although we've made quite a bit of an investment in simplified upgrade to try and reduce, the impact of that. So, those folks back on 9.1, 9.0, maybe there's some folks still back on XE, simplified upgrades here to try and help you get current with, onto our continuous code line. And then, of course, your ability to assess the impact of that, plays a key role to you trying to figure out, what you need to test. I've already talked about reducing customizations. I'll go into validate. The assertion framework, again, another way to leverage Orchestrator to validate your business processes. We're also working on, a test framework that we could be bringing to market in the future, and again, that is potential roadmap to help facilitate in this area. So that's where we're at with continuous adoption. So those end up being, 5 cumulative value stories that represent different areas of investment that we've made over the years. As I said, the team and I are working on additional stories to help you understand, what we've done I believe you probably see one out there about financials. We've done some stuff in sales. There's many other areas of the product where we've made investments. And again, to help you understand, and make sense of it all, since 9.2 has been in market for as long as it has, we think these stories will help you do that. Okay. All of that, of course, is available, as I said, on Learn JDE, and the product catalog is your first stop for all those enhancements. So you can use the QR code on this deck to get more detail on those specific cumulative value stories. But if you're interested in any other features that we brought to market here with release 22 or prior, please use the product catalog. As I said earlier, we've made significant investment in trying to improve the usability of this, giving you access to additional collateral to try to help you understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, why we're doing it, and how to get it. Okay. So before I move on, if there's questions, because next we're going to talk a little bit about the future.
Yeah, Paul, there's one question. Another topic, and would be nice to have. Query and grid formats are getting more and more used and almost standard to support business processes. It would be nice to be able to combine query and grid formats, meaning that a query is linked automatically to a grid format, and also opening or calling an application can be called with a specific query, resulting in a linked grid format.
Try to explain that, Paul. If I understood it correctly, the query is on the top, and the grid format is of course in the grid itself. So I think the question is, can you link them together so that by selecting a query that you can show the right grid format immediately?
I believe we've obviously linked grid formats in with your personalization. So if you have a personalization, those two go together. And then if you have a query that you're running with that personalization, you probably do get that result if you combine them, but combining the queries specifically with the grid format, directly, I don't think we've done that. So it's more about, like I said, it's more the fact that we look at grid format as a way of managing your layout, and that layout is managed through form personalization. So I think there's a way for you to get to where you want to if you use form personalization. Now, if you're not going to use form personalization, or the idea would be you don't want to use form personalization, and why not just allow us to connect grid formats with queries? I've got that noted down, and I'll talk to the team. But
maybe I think that makes sense. Maybe in conjunction with that question, you get a lot of requests, of course, because you also have hundreds of customers running with JDE Edwards. Can you describe it, because you're now presenting to us as a user group? Can you describe a little bit the power of user groups and the connection we have with you in Denver?
Well, as I think as I was saying earlier, I mean, we've gotten more in the last 2-3 years. We've been more and more focused on customer-driven product improvements, and your user groups are one of the primary ways in which you convey and get buy-in for some of the enhancements and extensions that you want to see within JDE Edwards. So, I know Wouter's got his catalog, right? I mean, we always joke about, his binder of enhancements, and user groups are the way in which you you basically build up backing for those enhancements and whatnot, and also challenges that you're seeing in the marketplace and what you need, as far as where you need JDE Edwards to evolve. So I believe this relationship that we have is where we can get quick feedback on stuff that we bring to market, but it's your forum to really build consensus around what you need in the out of us, and we look to you guys for that direction, so to speak.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Well, if I may, last year we upgraded to 9.2, and after that we went to 9.2, I asked Oracle if they were interested to get some customer feedback.
Mhm.
And Keith was willing to listen to me.
Okay.
But when coming into the call, there were 15 people waiting there for me to present the obstacles that I have that I had with the new product. And I was very enthusiastic that that there was that much commitment. So that's a big thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
So to be clear about it, the 15 people weren't customers; they were Oracle people.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I mean, Wouter, you've done just such a fantastic job of being a champion. And, you know, every time we have an interaction, have a discussion, whether it be about product or it be about, like you said, obstacles with getting to 9.2, I'd say that you've earned everybody's respect. So when you talk, we listen. You know, there are a lot of, you know, folks out there that they only have the well, not everything that they bring necessarily applies more broadly. They bring a lot of, let's say, just unique, you know, problems that their business and their business process and the way they want to operate actually, you know, it's really unique to them, and that gets really difficult for us because we don't want to be disrupting and putting, let's say, the disinterested customer at risk. We you know, by making changes to accommodate, you know, one specific business process. You've done a fantastic job of identifying high leverage opportunities for us, and you've earned that respect that when you experience something uncomfortable, if it wasn't the experience that you anticipated, yeah, we're going to be there to listen and try to understand why, especially in an area like upgrades, where with the simplified upgrade and the you know, effort that we've put into trying to make that better, you know, we need to understand how we're missing the mark. So you've earned our respect, and you've got your forum, and so yes, I'm not surprised that we probably brought quite a few people to the call to understand what you went through. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment. But the point that I was trying to make is, if you've got a good point, Oracle will listen. So
Yep.
just get in contact with them, and not only resolve the thing that you have, the obstacle that you have, but the obstacle that everybody is facing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think back to that original question that we had, just to feed on that, Wouter, the original question about, you know, why companies choose JD Edwards. You know, the culture is another you know, top reason. This relationship that we have, this interaction that we have with our community, that's pretty unique, right? Yes, other products obviously have user groups and whatnot, and they have strategic interest groups and whatever. But at the end of the day, the relationship that we establish, the interaction model that we have, the fact that what you just spoke about is you have a direct, you know, you have a direct line to product development, right? You know where to find me, you know where to find Keith and Jeff, and you know, you guys have got this relationship with us that, you know, our customers, you know, we strive to build that relationship with each and every one, and as we do so, that gives them the opportunity to let us know, and you know, and we're more than willing to listen to the struggles that they have, or the success that they have, or the ideas that they have. And so having a direct line into and a direct influence over, let's say, a roadmap is a big difference between us and many of our competitors. So anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk a little bit about future. You know, you guys may have seen this the last time I was there. I know I was talking about, you know, us evolving and getting to that intelligent ERP, and I showed you this demo that I walked you through. I really enjoyed doing that. Then I was told this time around to not demo. So if you guys want demo, tell me next time, because I love demo. But for this time around, I just wanted to highlight, the evolutionary curve, so to speak, that we're still on, right? You know, from traditional ERP and thinking about, ERP in that traditional way where it's a back office system of record, to today's more digital ERP where it plays a more integral role in you running your business. It's much more connected within your business. And whatnot. And we've tried to leverage our, orchestrator and our digital platform to obviously enhance your ability to do things like mobility and Internet of Things, collaboration, and process automation. So we are, basically, marking the flag here at this point, saying, release 22 represents our digital ERP release. Again, it's all about automate, optimize, transform. And we're going to start to set our eyes on, what it takes to evolve us towards intelligent ERP. Okay. So I'll just take a couple minutes, to speak about intelligent ERP. It's, you can go Google it. It's a standard term that's out there. There's a lot of different interpretations of what it really means. I don't know that, my vision necessarily aligns perfectly with the industry interpretation of what intelligent ERP is. But, these are some of the characteristics, I'd say, of an intelligent system. We're using the images, so to speak, to help you, maybe put it in context. If you look at your home is completely connected at this point, from your thermostat to your refrigerator, to your sprinkler system, to probably your car, to your phone, to, everything is essentially interconnected. The other day I heard, somebody's toilet now is connected. I don't want to get into that, but it's crazy how many different things are actually connected within your house and how they interact with one another. Right. So thinking about that and thinking about, let's say, your autonomous car, what's the goal of any autonomous system? It's to eliminate human error. Right. That's really what it's intended to do. In the case of us and let's say JD Edwards, what I envision or what I'm hopeful to essentially accomplish is to eliminate the need for human intervention. Okay. Now, is that going to be entirely? Well, no, obviously. I mean, that's not going to, we're not going to completely turn everything over to the machines. But the point is that there's many, many opportunities within the business processes and the daily interactions between the business and the system management that represent an opportunity to eliminate the need for somebody to actually intervene, and the system can actually be taught, so to speak, to recognize the condition or recognize, the current situation, or maybe even anticipate, what's going to happen next, and then make recommendations, for how you respond to that. And if you've automated that response, then obviously it can actually do the response for you. So, we've talked in the past about, when we did UX1, and our current user experience paradigm is about alert, analyze, act. And that's fantastic. I mean, that's about, managing by exception and making you aware of those things that are maybe getting in your way. But all of that is essentially after the fact, right? I mean, Wilder, you just showed a dashboard that says, how many purchase orders are past today, are in the past, or are past due, perhaps, something along those lines. That's great information, but it's already, it's already over. What we want to evolve to is, how does JD Edwards learn to anticipate, right? And learn to predict. And then, in anticipation of something going wrong or something going well, who knows, right? It doesn't always have to be a negative thing. The system, if it sees an inflection point approaching, it may want to recommend to you how you react to that. And you may have multiple different ways in which you respond to those things. And so it may start prompting you to intervene earlier. eventually, in order to eliminate your need to intervene, we want to automate that response and just simply, you tell the system what you would like it to do, and it'll simply take the action for you. If it eventually learns what you do a majority of the time, perhaps it no longer needs to prompt you, and instead it takes that response, it acts on, what it knows, and it simply informs you of what it did after the fact, in which case you're no longer intervening. You're just getting informed that the system addressed whatever the particular problem is, or took care of whatever opportunity it was. And then you have an opportunity to say, okay, I like that you did that, or you didn't. Again, just ways in which this is, potentially going to evolve over time. So we lay it out in these 3 areas: enterprise experience. That's all about the connectivity, being able to automate 100% of your business process. It's provided guided decision-making support, kind of what I, was just describing. And it's also about, the way in which you interact. I mean, there's a lot of, advancement coming in augmented reality and virtual reality technologies. I don't know how that's going to play in perfectly within ERP, but you never know. It may play a role, and we need to be, we need to keep an eye out and figure out how we leverage that to enable you, if you want to take advantage of it, to do, business better, to transform how you do business. Seamless adaptability is about taking, being able to tap into those exponential technologies as they come to market. Okay, you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to respond. You have to be able to do it without necessarily requiring specific, skill sets and whatnot, in order to enable that continuous innovation. And then finally, with the autonomous system management, this is, where kind of like I was describing, where you have a system that is monitoring and recommending and intervening where it needs to intervene on your behalf, so that it minimizes your need, obviously, to manage the system. I've always said within system administration, so many of these things there are, if we can go through and script the response in specific issue, to specific situations that arise, why do we need somebody to actually manually walk in and make those changes? Why can't the system itself just, if we know exactly what the response should be to a specific error message or a specific condition, we should be able to script it, automate it, hand it over to the system to drive. So that enables, obviously, IT to partner with the business a little bit more and continue to drive that, continue to drive that innovation. So that's a little bit about the vision. Now, that's pretty, high level, obviously, and it's a bit pie in the sky, right? I mean, it's supposed to be, right? Because it's supposed to be motivating, it's supposed to be exciting. I mean, these are exciting times for us. The team is actively going through and decomposing this to try and figure out, based on where JD Edwards is at today, what investments do we need to make to basically close the gap and evolve in this particular direction. So we're actively working on, that strategy as we're continuing to develop on the roadmap, for 2023. Okay, so I'm hopeful that in events to come we'll be able to explain a little bit more about how we're going to advance in this direction and get a little bit more specific about the things that we're doing in the product that will take us this this way. Okay, so exciting stuff. All right, with that, I'd say you've got release 22 out in the market. As I was talking about, leverage all the resources that you have, whether it be your user groups, Learn JDE, product catalog, YouTube, leverage the resources to get educated on, what we've been bringing to market over the last, 5-6 years. Get to release 22, get current and adopt. Figure out which one of these key capabilities, these innovations you can take advantage of, obviously leveraging your digital ERP to, rethink how you do business. There's a lot of power right now in JD Edwards and the orchestrator, so to speak, as well as years and years of feature functionality that we can continue to refine and improve upon, that you can take advantage of. So, by all means, get to release 22, take advantage of digital ERP. That would be my ask of all of you. Stay connected. We just talked about the advantages of staying connected to your user group. There are, many other channels that you can connect with us on. I am out there on Twitter. I'm out there on LinkedIn on a regular basis, letting people know, what we brought to market, highlighting, specific things. You can connect with me on LinkedIn and ask questions and whatnot, but, stay connected with us, leverage Oracle support. Like I said, we're hyper-focused on customer-driven product improvements. Your avenue for getting that in front of us is not just through the user group, but having that SR with support, get that enhancement request put in so that other customers can see it, latch onto it, champion it, and we can get it on our roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay. So one last thing. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, perfect closure, Paul. Stay connected.
I have one more thing though. I have one more special request that I received. I want to take a minute, if you guys don't mind, to say thank you to Herring and Wouter for everything that they've done, the amazing contributions that they've made over the years to this group, and obviously the influence that they've had over the JD Edwards product. And we put together a video to say thank you to you guys.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully this doesn't crash my system again.
Hello, Wouter and Herring. This is Gary Gray-Saber. I just wanted to drop a quick note of thanks for all you've done for the OBUG over the years, the content at the sessions, the engagement with the user community, not to mention the best venues and best events, has really been a model for our user group community worldwide. Wouter, thank you for your ongoing drive and persistent drive to make the JD Edwards product better, no matter what it would take. And we've had a lot of discussions over the years with myself and with my staff, and I really appreciate that and hope that continues. And also wanted to say thank you again for the hospitality you shared with Karen and I on your site visit. Herring, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and this is not the end by any means. Whether it's a customer, as a partner, you're really a pleasure to work with, and I appreciate, again, all you do for the JD Edwards product. So best of luck to you both. You have some big shoes to fill, but I appreciate all you've done for the OBUG over the years.
I want to thank you, Herring and Wouter, for your tireless efforts with the OBUG over the years. I'm really going to personally miss our discussions and interactions. They were very fruitful and very much enjoyed them. You guys have succeeded in creating a model for all user groups to strive for. Cheers.
Hi, Wouter. This is Donnie Ninen. Yes, we have met only once, but it was like I knew you from the time I took over manufacturing again. Your name would come up in discussions in brainstorming sessions quite often. Before the meeting that we had, it was like I was preparing to meet Wouter. I found our interactions very informative and your knowledge of JD amazing. Thanks, Wouter, for all your contributions to JD, and all the best for your future endeavors.
Hi, Wouter and Herring. It's Jeff Erickson from the JD's product team. Wanted to send you a quick message and first of all say thank you for all the great success that you guys have done with OBUG. OBUG really is the model for user groups throughout Europe, and a lot of that's based upon the work that you guys have done, and we greatly appreciate that. We greatly appreciate your support through the years, being a champion in the region for JD Edwards and Oracle, and really driving success with customers and our partners, and really being a great supporter of the JD Edwards product. So we greatly appreciate that. In addition to that, we've had conversations through the years. Really appreciate everything that you guys have done to drive product innovation and improvements in the product. Between your passion and OBUG driving that innovation, it's very exciting to see what we have with the Release 22, because some of those things are your guys' ideas, and you guys helped drive that. So I know you guys are leaving OBUG in great position. for future improvements. We look forward to that, and we wish you all the best moving forward in what you guys do. So best of luck, and again, thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Hello, Wouter and Hearing. It's your friend AJ Schifano from JD Edwards in Denver. I hear you'll be turning over the torch to new leadership for the OBUG. So I wanted to say thanks for all you've done to make that community what it is. And thank you especially for inviting me to join your event. Back in 2019, it's hard to believe it was 2 years ago. But thank you for inviting me. From the moment I stepped in the room, I could tell it was a well-organized event and the community was passionate and engaged, no doubt to your leadership. I'd also like to thank you on behalf of my entire family, because when they heard I was invited to come join you in Utrecht, they all wanted to come along. So my entire family came. It was an expensive trip for me, but very memorable, and we still tell stories about it. So on behalf of my entire family and the JD Edwards community, thank you for your service to the OBUG, and best wishes to you for all your endeavors in the future. Thanks. Goodbye.
Wow. Didn't see that coming, Paul.
Well, we haven't told the community yet.
Oh, yes, they know.
Yeah, well, if I can take the advance at this moment, on behalf of the OBUG, of course, I can only join these acknowledgements, and I'm sure we will be hearing from each other. Maybe not from the OBUG, but certainly from a partner and customer relationship. So hearing, Wouter, thank you a lot for organizing this JDE Edwards update event. Too bad it isn't in real life. We have to do with the digital again, but thank you as well against the OBUG, on behalf of the OBUG.
It's been my pleasure.
My pleasure as well, Paul. And OBUG, of course, and all the users and participants who are listening now.
Okay, I also have a little thank you to do. I'm gonna share my screen. 1 second. I have some beers here. I bought a collection of Belgian beers, and they have a different theme. So first of all, the one is the Sick Mind, because you Sick Minds got me involved in the OBUG community. There's the bitter flower. We can relate to it for today because we are only online and not live, but also you're leaving the community. One beer, Jour de Fête, it's a holiday, it's a party day. It had to be a big event. I have Your Highness, and I have a civil servant at rest. So it was a fun part to do. I have the 2 collections of another beers just for you guys. Just want to thank you from the user community with a thankful note. I was supposed to be on stage there on the event, and I informed Paul. I asked him to make a little thank you for you guys. So now we're ahead of what you were gonna say. So I give the word back to you guys.
Well, it's amazing to see this. So yeah, Wouter. I don't have the words anymore.
Me neither. It's too much, you guys. Yeah, it's been a great trip, and I really enjoyed it. And it's been a great race, and it's a good finish for us. I think so. But there are 2 positions that are to be filled. The special interest group leader position and the board member position. So we are looking forward to people that are going to
join them.
Yeah, join me.
And also let them know in JDE Edwards world the enthusiastic we have here in the region. And what I see, and Philippe mentioned it already earlier during the events, Also, the partners are working closely together. And it is in my belief that every customer, without any doubt, can help. And by joining together, you see the power. I've done it now for a couple of years, and Wouter also. And you see what's happening. We do have a link. We do have an influence. Although we are just a small country, also with Belgium together. But we can make a difference, and if you want to have something done in the ERP system, there is a platform, and you can join us. And in an earlier stage, I already posted something on LinkedIn announcing that I would leave, and also showing a bottle which I actually got from Wouter, because based on the event already mentioned a couple of times 2 years ago. Yeah, we were best organized event somewhere in the world, but we never got the opportunity to do that on stage. And I was hoping to do that today, but we are doing it online again. And we already mentioned some gadgets, etc. And Wouter, I do have something, so I want to give that to you. First, the umbrella. Okay, so make sure you don't get wet when it's raining here in Holland. Okay, thanks. And also for the people at home, a jacket. You are a champion, like Paul said. So wear it like a champion, and hopefully in 3 weeks, Max will be the champion as well. Thanks, guys. Yeah, great. Thanks. And we did it.
Yeah, that leaves us with
the one final thing.
the Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Paul, we have a Wheel of Fortune because not only the things I got for Wouter as a present, but we still have an umbrella here and something from Formula One, Red Bull, with Oracle sponsored.
Nice.
And we try to get everybody online until the end. And it's, we call it in Holland almost time for the peepers. So almost time for dinner. Paul McCartney mentioned it already earlier in June. And you see on the background the Formula One. I was lucky to have some gadgets from Oracle as well for the user community. And normally we would have done that on stage, but now we are giving the first one already live on the air. So Wouter?
I will prepare the Wheel of Fortune for the first gadget. The bidon. Let's start. What did you do?
Well, I'll try to do something. Yay! I got it.
Let's make a real Wheel of Fortune.
So the participants of today.
Let's go.
Is Paul also in there? Because otherwise I need to fly to Denver, I think, Paul?
No,
yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Keep that one.
So Walter Teunis, this one is for you. And we have the umbrella over there. That's the second round. Who's the lucky one? PB. I don't know
who is PB. If you're in the chat, Walter and PB, can you make yourself known, and then Jean-Francois will allow you to access, so you can identify yourself, and we'll make sure then.
I think you will get stuck with some gadgets because both candidates, well, both winners already just left the webinar. So
they already left.
Yeah.
There we go on. We need to have
online. Please do.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
So again for the umbrella.
PB is Valencio.
PB is Valencio. Sorry. Okay, so we will just need one more. PB is still available.
Then Ingrid. Ingrid for the bidon.
Okay. Then we're there. Right?
He was
Ingrid was
joking.
online.
Just joking.
Well, perfect. Then we have Ingrid for the bidon and Walter for the PB for
The umbrella.
the umbrella.
So that's it.
Perfect. Wouter, it has been a pleasure this afternoon. It was quite different. Yeah, finish.
Yeah, we finished a great race. It's been a good journey.
Yeah. And Paul, to be remembered, hopefully in March, April or something. If you're allowed to travel, you're of course invited.
Okay.
We'll keep in touch. And we'll make sure that in one or the other way, we'll meet sometimes in person. So big thank you from my side. And yeah,
Thank you all.
have a pleasant day there.
You
Bye.
too. You guys take care. Thanks again for the opportunity. Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for the
Thank you.
surprise.
Bye.
See you guys.